Hi, today we are with Johnny FT. He's an entrepreneur, he's a digital nomad lifestyle advocate, and he is one of the founders of the Nomad Summit here in Chiang Mai.
Hola, sorry I don't speak Spanish, so hopefully these subtitles you guys can read it, but really excited to be able to share all this information with everyone here.
One of the reasons I came here to Chiang Mai is because of people. Actually, I've been here for a month and I think I barely did any tourism stuff because I've been so excited and overwhelmed about the people that I've met here, and it's been all about networking and making friends and meeting like-minded people. And I have to give thanks to Johnny in a lot of sense of this happening, because thanks to him many people came here to this summit, this event about digital nomads, and we're going to talk about what a digital nomad is in a little bit. So but before of that, I would love if you can share with us like a little bit of where you are right now in your life and how did you get here.
Okay, so I had a corporate job in America. I worked at a very big American corporation called Honeywell. I had dress shirts and ties and meetings and all the things that you think will make you happy. That is everything that they taught me when I was a kid, saying, if you go get good grades in school, you can go to a good university. If you get graduate with honors, maybe you can get a good job. You work for a big company and then you are happy for the rest of your life. And it was not like that. Maybe the first year or two was fun because it's new and exciting. And then one day I realized, what am I doing? I'm waking up every morning and driving to work. I have to put on this stupid shirt that I hate putting on. In the winter it's cold, in the summer it's hot, and I just was not happy. I never got to travel. I never really got to experience life. I never really got to experience life outside of my little bubble. On weekends I didn't have time to even enjoy myself because I didn't have the money to go on vacation. I had so many responsibilities, and I decided that's enough. I quit. In 2008, I moved to Thailand.
Sorry, what was the trigger? There's always like a trigger. There's always like something that makes you say, okay, fuck this, I'm making a change.
I think between the time I actually left my job, I say I quit, but really the company got bought, and they had an option. I can either stay on and probably get laid off, or I can quit. So I said, let me just try something new. And I was so unhappy. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know who I was. I was at the time maybe 27, and I was getting a bit older. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a girlfriend. Just nothing was good in my life. So I spent a lot of time in personal development. I wanted to just become better, become happier. And that led me to all different things. I read books about how to pick up women, thinking that would make me happier, but it did not. I read books about the law of attraction and The Secret. Maybe I can think my way into happiness, and that did not work. And then I found money books about like making money, The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, and it just all kind of was in my head. And when I came to Thailand, it was actually on vacation. It was only supposed to be for 3 weeks. 3 semanas. And it's now been 8 years.
Wow.
And it's amazing. I mean, if you look behind us, this is our, what we call a co-working space. It's a shared office. And we love it so much that we are actually paying to work. And I think a lot of people don't understand the concept of co-working space. They said, why would you pay money to go into an office and work? And it's because all of us are entrepreneurs, what we call digital nomads, where we get to work on our own business or even remotely for another business, but we can do it from a place like this. I mean, right now it's sunny, it's beautiful, we're just dressed in t-shirts and shorts, and it's just a good life.
Yeah, cool. So probably this audience don't know what a digital nomad is, so could you introduce a little bit what is a digital nomad and why to try this lifestyle?
So a digital nomad is somebody who can work and earn money location independently and be able to move from place to place based on what they're happy with. Some people say it's similar to being an expat. But an expatriate is someone who usually just decides to move and they just stay there forever. So if I never traveled and I was just living here, maybe I would be an expatriate.
Yeah.
But for me, as soon as the weather is not good here or I'm not happy, I take my laptop, I close it, I move to Bali, I move to Prague, I move to Hawaii. I'll move somewhere else and be able to just open my laptop and continue working, continue earning money. And I think that is the real essence of being what a digital nomad is someone that just has the freedom to be able to close their laptop whenever they want, hop on a plane, and then start right back over again.
So this digital nomad thing didn't happen like overnight. Like many people think it's okay, I'm going to just set up an e-commerce and I'm going to be a digital nomad. Like what was the journey for you?
So mine, it started in 2008 when that 3-week vacation turned into a few years where I decided I'm not happy at home, so I might as well be happy here and just do things like teach scuba diving or as a tour guide or do Muay Thai kickboxing and have just enough money where I can live. And I wasn't making more than $600 US a month. So even here it's very, very little where you could just get by. But I was happy. I got to do what I want to do. I got to move to different islands if I got bored of one island and I want to explore somewhere else and travel and see more.
Yeah. So sorry,
yeah.
by the way, you went to wear a suit,
yes,
to be a scuba diver and then a Muay Thai fighter.
Yeah. And I
think that's just awesome. Like,
yeah, thank you. Gracias. And I wrote about that. I have a book called 12 Weeks in Thailand, which unfortunately is only in English, so sorry if you guys don't enjoy reading English books, but it explains the whole journey in detail where I quit my job and I moved to Thailand and I learned how to scuba dive. And when I got to, I don't want to say bored of scuba diving, but when I feel like I had enough, I wanted to get in shape, so I thought, in Thailand, everybody's doing Muay Thai kickboxing, let me try this. And I ended up competing. I had 6 professional fights and I loved it. And then I woke up and I was now 30 years old. That was a 4-year journey. And I realized, oh man, I had a great 3 or 4 years, but now I'm even older. I have even less money because all my savings are now gone. And I'm living in Thailand and I can't even really afford to fly home and look for another job because I'm spending all my savings. So what can I do? I have to figure out a way where I can make money online while traveling.
Okay, and what was like your first step here?
So my first step was I knew I had a blog already. It was called myfightcamp.com. I don't update it so much anymore, but it's all about Muay Thai and kickboxing. And I just liked to post on it. It wasn't a way to make money. I like to share the information. What are the best gyms? How much it costs to eat and live? And I decided I have all these people reading all this free information I put out there. Why not turn it into an ebook where people can buy it and read it at home? And that book made me about $200 a month. And for me, I was like, wow, I cannot believe I'm making $200 a month. This is amazing. Because what's nice about being this digital nomad of this lifestyle is because the time zone difference is so different in Thailand than America or South America, usually people there are buying things while we are sleeping. So we wake up and we have say, oh, you sold 2 more books.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
This is the term you can hear a lot about. It's passive income. Like basically the idea is to make income even when you're sleeping.
Exactly.
But it's never totally passive, but yes, the idea is to break this link between time and income. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people get the misconception thinking, oh, it's so easy, you just set it up and you go to sleep and you make money. But it takes a lot of work, just like any business. If you want to start a restaurant, it takes money, it takes time, it takes effort. But what's nice about this is if you can do it, you can set it up, then you can go to sleep, wake up, and you have money.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work. Like how much time in the experience, for example, it takes for someone to make a dropshipping business or an Amazon FBA? Like 6 months to a year?
So my first business that made me more than $1,000 a month was my dropshipping business. So if you guys don't know what dropshipping is, it's a way where you can sell physical items online and not have to control the inventory. So if I want to sell these tables here, or this chair, or this camera, or this microphone, instead of me buying 100 units or 1,000 units and ship it to my house or a warehouse, and then have to ship it again to the customer when they buy it, I can just make a deal and say, hey, this maker of this table, can I become an authorized dealer? Can I sell these tables? And I get the wholesale discount, I bring you customers. And it really depends a lot on the manufacturer, if they want to work with you or not. Unfortunately, like Canon is probably not going to want me to sell their cameras online because they have big stores to sell it. But whoever makes this table, maybe they don't have a marketing team, maybe they don't have a website.
Yeah, that's very attractive for a manufacturer. Like it's an extra channel that they don't have before. They don't have to do pretty much anything, right?
Yeah.
Just have to deal with the buyers.
Yeah, exactly. So with dropshipping, it's a nice business to start out in because you don't need that much money to start. Usually people can start it for less than $2,000 versus if you start even a cafe, maybe it'll cost you 10 times that much money. Before people get too excited at watching this, unfortunately, I don't know if dropshipping, that model works yet in South America because it's very new, it's very different.
Yeah.
I know.
No, but I know people in South America doing dropshipping.
Yeah.
But they dropship to US or Europe.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you can still do it if you want it. Like that's the idea of dropshipping. You're not the one actually shipping, so you have to set up an e-commerce and you can do it pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, so I think you're definitely right. I actually do know someone in Nicaragua who is dropshipping to the US and making enough money to feed his whole family. He has, I think, 4 kids. But here's the hard part, right? Is if you want to sell in America, you need to set up an American company, you need an American bank account. It's not as hard as getting a green card, but it's still some of the same steps.
Yeah.
The nice thing is if you're making US dollars and you can make $3,000 US a month, it's great to spend in South America or somewhere else, or Thailand.
That's one of the ideas in the 4-hour work week, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Earning US, spending pesos.
Yeah, I love it. I've been earning US dollars now for the last 3-4 years through all the different passive income channels I have, and I spend it in Chiang Mai, Thailand, which is one of the cheapest places in the world to live. So probably 80-90% of my income goes into savings, or I can invest it and make more money from it.
Okay, so this digital nomad lifestyle sounds really appealing, and there's so many people wanted to try it out, but I think so many people get into this for the wrong reasons. Like they're actually like before giving like my take on this, I would like to hear yours. Like,
sure.
What do you think are good and bad reasons to become nomad?
I don't think there's necessarily a bad reason because everyone has a different priority in life. I think the question would be what makes somebody successful and what makes someone not successful. Because if somebody wants to come because they, for whatever personal reason, that's up to them. That's not me to judge. But if they complain saying that, I cannot make any money, this is bullshit, or this doesn't work, then I could ask how much time have you actually put into studying? How much time have you put into actually building the business? Are you following directions well? Are you taking personal responsibility and doing it yourself, or are you just expecting everyone else to do the work for you? So these are questions that I would ask any business owner, not just one online. I think the biggest problem with the digital nomad movement is because people see photos and videos of us just relaxing and it looks like we're not working. People see us on the beach with a coconut, or we're sitting even just in this nice garden. So people might be watching this in their office thinking like, oh shit, they put the, like just unhappy, and this is the reward after you've done the work. So I think nobody's filming us just working 10 hours a day for 2 months.
It wouldn't be interesting, right?
Exactly.
It's going to show that in YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. So realize that if you want to be successful, you want to be a good digital nomad, that you have to be willing to put in at least 2 months of work, if not 3 months. For me, that's how long it took me to build my dropshipping stores. I've now done 2 on my own, and they both took 2 months.
Yeah. So yeah, what I mean, like at the beginning with the question, like, is that many people is in this like search for happiness, right? And this digital nomad thing looks very appealing and maybe a good way to try this out. But at the same time, you can see depressed nomads.
It's weird, especially online. I think if you guys read any Facebook group or Reddit or something, you'll see a lot of unhappy nomads, lots of hate saying like, this does not work, it's all a scam. And I honestly believe those are the people that they're not happy in their life, no matter what they do. I think it's unfortunate. I wish I could help them, but I know that if they're not ready to, take control of their own lives, their own destinies, there's nothing I can personally do. I can tell them everything, and I'm sure some of you guys know people like this. Whatever great thing there is in the world, they're like, oh no, that's not for me, or that doesn't work. Unfortunately, because people sometimes see, come to Thailand as this great, easy place, they think, okay, if I come, then automatically I'll be happier.
Yeah.
But that's not true with anywhere in the world.
Yeah. And this is a big thing. Like, why are you actually doing whatever you're doing? Like, it's just because it's this magic formula to success. You're trying like to buy happiness here. Mm-hmm. It's not going to work like that. Like, in ultimate place, it's all about you and not. It's not traveling that is going to make you happy if you're not happy first within yourself. So many people think because they become nomad, they will be happy. Like they make this association, but it's actually not true. And there are actually many nomads that feel very lonely, for example, that are very depressed for whatever reason. And for many people, this comes like a previous step to something else, something more relevant. Yeah. And here's where I want to ask you about purpose. Yeah. Like, I know this was also the journey for you, right?
Yeah.
Like, how at the beginning it was about freedom. Yeah. It was about doing the things you wanted. But at some point, the motivation changes.
Yeah. So for me, the beginning, the first couple years before I was even really making money, it was about freedom of time. I wanted to have time to do things I like doing, whether it's scuba diving or reading a book, laying on the beach, or doing some sports like Muay Thai. And then I realized, okay, it's good to have time, but now I need some money. So then I started the businesses. And I think, to be honest, the happiest I ever was, personally, was when I was making about maybe $3,000 to $5,000 a month. And back home, actually, especially in an expensive city like California, it's not that much money. You can barely live. But a place like this, you do whatever you want. You can live in the nicest place. You have extra money. You can fly somewhere. And I had also free time. I had time to go to the gym and relax and get in shape. So that was actually the best moment of my life. I would say the best 2 years of my life. I was right around that range. I was comfortable. And then I really started focusing on making more money. And I don't even know why I started. I think it was because at that time, me and my girlfriend for 3 years had broken up. And I was depressed because of that. It wasn't, the life or anything. I was just, I had a great relationship for so long and it ended and it's like, let me just work. So I just put my head down and I just worked. And I somehow grew my income from about $5,000 a month to 3 times that, so $15,000 US. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, I'm rich. I don't, maybe I'll be happier now. Man, I wasn't. And I was probably working more. I was definitely working more. I was spending but the same because there's nothing to spend money on here. And I was like, well, now what, So then I realized maybe it's not about me anymore. I have everything I need. Like, what else can I give back or make a bigger impression on the whole world, or at least in the digital nomad community? So I focused a lot on building the Nomad Summit, which is the big conference where we get digital nomads from around the world who come in. We've had speakers from South America. We've had speakers all across from Asia. We had a girl this year, March, who was a VA. She was only making, I think, was it $2 or $5 an hour?
Yeah, a VA, it's a virtual assistant. It's mainly like an assistant that you can hire online, and you talk to them online, and they usually are very cheap and come from very cheap places.
Yeah, so she came from probably the lowest paying job, maybe in the whole world, to now building her own business as a digital nomad, and then hiring her own VAs, these virtual assistants, and just seeing that it's not just Americans who can do it, even though there's probably more of us doing it because we probably started earlier. All the great resources are in English, and so thank you for this, for you translating this. But then more and more people from other countries are starting to do it, and I actually think that even though it might be harder for people to start if you're not American or from England or something, the rewards are actually higher. It's more fulfilling. You have less competition, and the dollar is worth more if you can do it. And even though I think a lot of people right now, they are selling to the US market, I actually think for the people listening at home, if you really want to make a difference and also make even more money long term, is to do it in your market that Americans cannot compete in.
Yeah, actually the Spanish-speaking market, it's quite big, and it's very, very unattended. And everyone wants to go and sell to the English-speaking people, and I think that's a shame. I think that there's a real chance there. A real opportunity, I mean.
I know for sure, I know some big internet marketers who are making $10,000 plus a month, and they are only selling to Brazil. I don't know why specifically Brazil, but I know for sure if you take out some advertisements on Facebook in America, you are paying maybe $2 or $3 per customer at least. But in South America right now, if you guys are watching this live, or not live, but the next few months in 2017, I'm willing to bet that whatever country you're advertising to, especially in a Spanish-speaking market, you're paying pennies.
10%.
Yeah.
Probably 10% of what you have to pay in America. Yeah, so I think it's really interesting, like how the motivations changes along the time. It gets to the point like, okay, I have everything I thought I needed, and there's always like something else. There's always like a next step, and it always at the end comes to purpose, like to give back something that's bigger than yourself. And for you what is this? It is about the summit that you're making?
So the summit is a big part of it, because to me it's like the one place where people from all around the world can look forward to. So if you're watching this at home and you're like, I cannot come to Chiang Mai, but the summit is not until January 2018, I have a whole year to prepare for it. You know what, I make that my goal. I will say January 2018, and write this down, I will be in Chiang Mai for the Nomad Summit. And by having that as a goal, it makes it much easier to work hard every day and say, okay, if I can make 1,000 US a month from some kind of online business, which is very, very possible to do, then you can come. And then if you reach this goal, you come, you celebrate, you're surrounded by 400 other people who have done the same thing, and it just feels like you're at home.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I think the big thing at the summit, for me at least, it was about networking and inspiration also. Like hearing the stories, it's always inspiring to know your story, for example, and of other people at the summit. So the next thing I'm really interested into is something that my coaches always ask, and it's about traveling. How can I travel more? How can I get travel to be part of my lifestyle? So what do you say to these people that will like to make a change in this sense and travel more, or actually be able to travel while they work?
So first off, I think congratulations if you've already traveled, you've already been somewhere, because at least you had a taste of what you want and what the world is like. I was just thinking, this is the first time in human history that we are able to see the whole world in one lifetime. Our parents, our grandparents, if they wanted to travel from South America to Asia, it might take them 3 months to get there. And now, even with a long flight, it's possible to do it within 2 or 3 days. Maybe even 1 day for most places in the world. And if we don't do it, it's like we're missing out on a great opportunity.
Okay.
And this is also the first time in human history where it's possible to be able to just open up this little, light machine and just type in things and just work from wherever you are. If I had my laptop here, I can just sit here for the rest of the day, order a coffee, and I can run a business. I can run a business that is shipping products from the US across to another country, and none of this was possible before.
And I think this is a big thing. Like, this is not something you can only do if you're rich or if you're like the smart guy on this planet. Like, this is actually something that anyone, if you're actually willing to put the effort and the work, you can do it.
Yeah, and I want to give you guys a couple options, right? If you're not the entrepreneur type, it's okay. I think a lot of people think that if you want to be a digital nomad, you have to run your own business, you have to be your own boss, you have to take big risks yourself. I don't think this is true. There is a lot of ways where you can either freelance for somebody else, or you can be an employee for a company that lets you work remotely. And maybe you will never be rich from this, but you'll be rich in a sense you have the location freedom, and you can live somewhere cheaper while still making a decent salary from either back home or for an American company, and you can continue traveling.
And it also, I would like to add to this, like, it's not about being here if you're here. Like, you can give a first step, right? Yeah. Like, if you want to have your own business, maybe start as a freelancer and make this happen for you.
And you can learn the skills along the way, make some connections. You can come out here and you can start enjoying not only being here, but also meeting other people that are also doing it. I think that's the best first step. I mean, it took me 4 years of being in Thailand to even discover this. For now, you guys can discover a lot faster because of the community of interviews like this and books. And it took me, a long time to even start making money online. My first goal was to make $600 a month, because that is the bare minimum you need to live in Chiang Mai. Mm-hmm. And then my next goal was to make $1,000 a month so I can live a little bit better. Then my next goal was to make $3,000 a month so I can replace my US salary while living here. And then all the other goals after that, they were not necessary. It's nice to be able to make over $100,000 a year while sitting out here, but it's not necessary. And not for everyone. Not everyone's going to be happier because you're making, $250,000 a year. Some of you might think you're going to be happier, but in reality, like, what am I going to spend that money on?
Even more if you're in Thailand. Yeah. What do you think is like the biggest lesson you've had in your own journey?
I think the biggest lesson I've ever had was not to listen to other people who have not done it themselves. When I first said I want to move to Thailand, everybody told me not to come. Everybody. My family, my cousins, my parents, my friends, even people I didn't really know. And I just told them, hey, I'm thinking about coming for 3 months. I didn't even tell them I'm coming for 8 years. And they were like, oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? And luckily, there's enough information now on videos where you can see, oh, okay, if these guys can do it, why not me? They don't look so smart. But back then, it was really hard. And I think still it happens now, where maybe if you look hard enough.
Yeah, actually, in Chile, no one knows about this digital nomad thing, and everyone thinks I'm crazy. So I get what you mean.
Yeah. And even especially if you read stuff online, people are always like, oh yeah, it doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. My advice to everyone is just try it yourself. Use some common sense, but just do it before you listen to someone else, or find someone who's actually been successful at what you want to do, and then follow them.
Okay. And what will be like the key piece of advice for someone that's in their job, maybe in this typical like corporate environment, and they're sick of their lifestyle, of their job, and want to maybe become a nomad or just make a change of job or lifestyle or career?
The easiest first step is to be able to start making some money on the side. Even if it's just $100 online. If you can do it through freelancing, remote work, or you can do it, as an entrepreneur, start selling something on your side. I think by just making even $100, you have the feeling of what it takes. You know it's possible, and you also know, okay, if worst comes to worst, I can just spend my time on this and maybe try to grow that $100 to $600. And with the skills that you'll learn from that, and the freedom that you have of time and location, then you can say, okay, now I'm taking the $600 a month I'm making online from freelancing, and I'm now living in Chiang Mai. I'm meeting all these cool people. I found out that this guy, he's selling books. This guy is selling, this guy is doing this. Maybe I try this.
Okay. One last question I forgot to ask, like, is the digital nomad thing for everyone or for some? Like, who do you think this is worth it?
I think it's definitely worth it if you hate just being in the office every day. If you have a job that you're not happy at, stop doing that job. Maybe you'll be happier at a different office job, or maybe you'll be happier, being your own boss, being an entrepreneur, living out here. If you've always dreamed about traveling and seeing more of the world and taking kind of life into your own hands, where you can go where you want to go, do what you want to do, then this lifestyle is definitely for you. And there are so many people doing it. If you wanted to see photos, I'm on Instagram. If you want to read my blogs, johnnyfd.com. I'm sure Google Translate is pretty good at making it to Spanish now. There's a lot of people doing it now, and it's not just for the geniuses or people who are very smart. It's really for anyone who wants it enough and is willing to put in the effort and just go for it yourself.
So thank you very much, Johnny, not just for the interview, also for the summit. Yes. I'm really thankful about the summit, because before, actually there's no a real like community of nomads right now. Like, they're just all over the place, and yes, they some meet each other and stuff like that, but there's no real sense of community. And I think there are some initiatives like the Nomad Summit and DNX and other initiatives that are actually trying to create community and collaboration, and I think that's really awesome. That's something I know I really like, so I'm really thankful for that. And yeah, can you tell us like where to know more about you, where they can find you?
So my blog is johnnyfd.com, and the Nomad Summit, probably the best way is if you look on YouTube for Nomad Summit. You can translate all the talks in YouTube with closed captions and subtitles. I didn't realize it's possible, and it's decent. I think it's getting better. Technology is getting better.
You can at least try to guess what they're talking about.
But we upload all the talks for free on the Nomad Summit YouTube channel, because we want to be able to share this information. We would love for you to come in person and meet each other in person, but I want to at least be able to give you the information no matter where you are. But if you think this is something that you want to do, my biggest suggestion is to go find a pen and paper and write down, I will be in Chiang Mai 2018 January to come to the Nomad Summit.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Gracias. Hasta luego.